David was 23 years old and lived in a small town. He worked in a grocery store and earned a small wage, just enough to help his parents pay the bills. But he often dreamed of a better life. He wanted to make more money, travel, and build a future for himself and his family. One day, a man came to his town. He wore a nice suit, drove a shiny car, and spoke with confidence. He told the young men in the town about high-paying jobs overseas. "You can earn 5 times what you make here," the man said. "The company will pay for your travel and give you a place to live. You just need to work hard, and you will be successful." David listened carefully. The man's words felt like an answer to his prayers. His parents were growing old, and his younger sister wanted to study in college. If he could earn good money abroad, he could help them. The man gave David his business card and told him to call if he was interested. That night, David couldn't sleep. He lay awake, dreaming. He imagined sending money home, buying his parents a new house, and giving his sister a bright future. The next morning, he decided to take the offer. His parents were worried. "Are you sure, son?" his mother asked. "We don't know this man." But David convinced them.
This is my chance. I'll be careful.
Within a few weeks, the papers were arranged. David received a plane ticket and instructions. Everything seemed official. He hugged his family goodbye, promising to send money soon. When he arrived in the foreign country, things felt tense. At the airport, another man met him. He was not friendly, and he spoke only a little of David's language. The man collected from David and the others who had traveled with him. He said,
"Give me your passports for safety."
Tired from the long flight, David obeyed. From the airport, they were taken in a van to a factory area far from the city. The place was dirty and smelled of chemicals. There were small rooms filled with bunk beds. 10 men slept in one little room. David felt uneasy, but when he asked about the job, the man told him,
"Tomorrow you start work."
The next morning, David and the others were taken to a large warehouse next to the factory. It was hot and noisy, filled with machines that never seemed to stop. They were told to lift heavy boxes filled with metal parts and load them onto trucks. The air was thick with dust, and there was no air conditioning or fans. Sweat poured down David's face as he bent and lifted again and again. His hands became raw and blistered within days. Lunch breaks were short, sometimes just 15 minutes. The food was always the same: rice with watery soup and a piece of egg or vegetable once in a while, but meat was rare. When David asked about wages at the end of the week, the supervisor laughed.
"No money yet. You owe us for the travel, the food, and the bed. You must work to pay off the debt."
David's heart sank. The hours grew longer, 12 hours a day, sometimes 14. The guards shouted at them to move faster. If someone slowed down, they were threatened or beaten. At night, David collapsed on the hard bed, his muscles aching, his stomach still hungry. One evening, when the guards had gone, David whispered to the man on the bunk above him. His name was Karim, from another country nearby.
Have you been here long?
David asked.
8 months.
Karim replied.
Still no money. They say I owe more than I can pay.
David was worried.
Do they ever let anyone go?
Karim shook his head slowly.
Only if someone escapes, but escape is dangerous. They have men watching. One boy tried last year. They caught him, beat him, and locked him in a small room for weeks.
Another worker, named Tomas, joined the quiet talk.
Don't give them trouble. Do the work. It is the only way to survive. I think about my wife every night. That keeps me alive.
David listened and felt despair growing. He thought of his mother and sister at home. He had promised to send money. Now he was trapped, with no way to keep that promise. The jobs changed each day, but none were easy. Sometimes they carried boxes that weighed as much as a man. Sometimes they cleaned the oily machines with their bare hands, their skin burning from the chemicals. Other days, they worked outside in the blazing sun, unloading boxes from trucks.
Faster!
The guard shouted.
You are too slow.
David's back ached constantly. His clothes were always damp with sweat and dirt. Some nights, he coughed from the dust in the warehouse. Once, a heavy box slipped from his hands and crushed his foot. Instead of letting him rest, the guard ordered him back to work. At night, the workers talked quietly about their families, their homes, and their dreams. Those conversations were the only comfort they had,
I just want to see my son again.
said Tomas one night.
He was 2 years old when I left. Now he is 4. He may not even remember me.
Karim sighed.
My mother is sick. I thought I would earn money for her treatment. Now I can't even call her.
David said softly.
I told my sister she could go to college. I thought I could pay for it. Now I don't know if I'll ever go home.
The men sat in silence for a long time after that, each lost in his own pain. But David refused to give up. He began to watch the guards, noticing their habits. He saw that delivery trucks came in once or twice a week. The drivers seemed relaxed and friendly. One day, when the driver was unloading boxes, David snuck up to him. He whispered to the driver.
Please help us.
The driver glanced at David, but he quickly walked away like he didn't want to be involved. David's tiny hope was shattered. One day, David couldn't move. His back was aching from months of heavy lifting. The guard noticed and shouted at him. David tried to stand up, but his legs trembled. Suddenly, the guard raised his hand and swung a stick toward him. David flinched, certain the blow would strike him. At the last second, Karim grabbed David's arms and pulled him away. The stick struck the ground instead. The guard raised his stick again for another try. Then, policemen busted the door open and stormed into the warehouse. They arrested and handcuffed the guards and the supervisor. You're safe now, one officer said to the thin and weak workers. You're all going home. David felt tears roll down his face. He looked at Karim and Tomas, who were also crying. After months of suffering, they were finally free. The police took the workers to a safe place. They were given healthy food, clean clothes, and medical care. David finally called his family. When his mother heard his voice, she cried. We thought we lost you, she said. The process took time. Embassies had to arrange travel documents since the passports were gone. But finally, David was able to fly back home. When he stepped out of the airport and saw his family waiting, he ran to them. They hugged him tightly. Back in his small town, David began to warn others. He told his story to neighbors, friends, and young men who dreamed of working abroad.
Be careful, not every opportunity is real, and sometimes the promise of quick money could lead to danger.
The man in the suit disappeared and was never seen again. And every time he saw a young man dreaming of a better future abroad, he said,
Dream big, but stay safe. Your freedom is worth more than any promise of money.
Question 1. Why did David want to go abroad? A. To escape his family. B. To study in another country. C. To earn more money. Two. What did the man in the suit promise? A. Free education abroad. B. High-paying jobs with travel and housing covered. C. A business partnership. Three. What did the man at the airport take from David and the other workers? A. Their luggage. B. Their passports. C. Their phones. Four. Where were the workers taken after arriving? A. A farm. B. A big hotel. C. A dirty warehouse with crowded rooms. Five. How many hours did the men usually work each day? A. 12 to 14 hours. B. 4 to 6 hours. C. 8 hours. Six. What type of food were the workers usually given? A. Meat and vegetable soup. B. Rice and watery soup. C. Fruit and milk. Seven. What happened if a worker slowed down or complained? A. They were rewarded. B. They were sent home to rest. C. They were threatened or beaten. Eight. What did David and the other men talk about at night? A. Sports. B. Their families and dreams. C. Movies and video games. 9. How were the workers finally freed? A. The police stormed the warehouse. B. They escaped through the delivery truck. C. The guards released them. Ten. What was David a victim of? A. Robbery. B. Money laundering. C. Human trafficking. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.